Thank you. Good evening, members. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Gentlemen, it is a very warm and stuffy evening. You are invited to remove your jackets for comfort this evening if you wish to. And ladies, of course, that have jackets. Thank you. Before we start, just to note that the meeting, as usual, is being recorded and broadcast live, and we're not expecting any fire drill this evening, so please follow the usual fire procedures if the alarm does go. So we will begin with agenda item 1, apologies for absence. Are there any?
We have apologies from Councillor Ainsley, Councillor Benson, Councillor Campagna, Councillor Edwards, Councillor Gregg, Councillor Harvey, Councillor Sage and Councillor Silk.
I think we can tell that it's July and holiday season. Agenda item 2, do we have any declarations of interest from members? No. So agenda item 3 is the minutes of the annual meeting held on the 22nd of May. Members, are the minutes of the annual meeting held on this date agreed? Okay, so we have 2 items of business for this special council meeting that you have been asked to convene here today, to consider the council's agreement to undertake a public engagement and consultation on the Castle Point Plan issues and options document and the scoping reports for the statutory assessments that must accompany the plan when it is finalised and submitted to the Planning Inspectorate for examination. Ms Parrott, I invite you to present the report on behalf of the Chief Executive to the Council, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, members. I'm really pleased to be presenting this report to you this evening. It represents a key milestone in the plan-making process and follows 18 months' worth of hard work by officers and members alike in bringing forward a plan for Castle Point in line with the timetable agreed by Council in November 2022 and the ambition of the motion put forward by members in June 2022 to prepare a plan that is genuinely resident-led. Whilst I'm presenting this report to you this evening, the issues and options document is very much a piece of work that has resulted from officers and members working in collaboration. The Castle Point Plan Board have been pivotal in preparing the issues and options document, which is provided for you as Appendix 1 to your report this evening. The issues and options document has been built on a platform of community engagement. Last year, over 1,500 residents and organisations engaged with us to identify the issues that should be addressed within the Castle Point Plan. Thanks to residents, we are clear about the issues we should be looking to address. We have also developed new evidence around local housing need and urban capacity. This is in response to the motion from June 2022. Alongside this, we have also developed evidence in relation to green spaces, transport and infrastructure to ensure that we are actually addressing the issues raised by residents through the consultation that took place last year. The issues and options engagement provides the Council with the opportunity to check it has identified all of the issues important to local people and to find out how they feel about the options open to us in addressing those issues. By engaging at this time, before we draft the plan, there is a real opportunity for residents and other stakeholders to inform what the plan says and the proposals that it contains. To ensure that the engagement is effective, we have put in place a strong package of communications and have an extensive engagement programme planned. We are therefore expecting a strong response to the engagement. However, this is a real opportunity for members of the Council to encourage participation amongst the community. We are therefore in a strong position to proceed with the issues and options engagement at this time, and I would commend the recommendations of the report to the Council for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Parrott. Councillor Gibson, as Deputy Leader and Portfolio Holder for Strategic Planning, would you like to put your recommendations to the Council?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I will. If you don't mind, I'll just say a few words first.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Chief Executive for bringing this report to Council and Ms Parrott for presenting the report this evening. In November 2022, we agreed a programme for preparing a local plan for Castle Point that is based on what the community of Castle Point want and need. And the Issues and Options document is an important part of the process of preparing the Castle Point plan. Working with officers, the Castle Point Plan Board has listened to the issues identified by residents, businesses and partner organisations through the initial engagement that took place last year. We have also collected evidence on housing need, the development capacity of the urban area and evidence related to our green spaces, our infrastructure requirements and our transport requirements. The Issues and Options document sets all of this out so that residents, businesses, partners and other stakeholders can now tell us if we have identified all the relevant issues. There is also the opportunity to let us know how they feel about the options we have identified in terms of our approach to development and changing the borough and the potential sites that may make up those options. I think it's important to note at this stage, nothing has been decided. We have presented all the options for consideration. We want to encourage as many people as possible to participate in this engagement, and we will be investing in a communications plan which ensures as many people as possible find out about the engagement and can take part. I've probably said this a few times already this evening, but having a local plan in place is important. It helps us to ensure that we get the types of development and change in Castle Point that we, the residents, want. Protect areas that are important to us, and to resist development that is in the types of places we want to protect or doesn't meet our local needs. We therefore need to progress the Castle Point plan as quickly as possible and in accordance with our agreed programme. Officers have worked hard to support us in delivering this programme to date and will continue to support us in getting a plan across the line. I would like to extend special thanks to Maria Hennessy, Gavin Ball, Matthew Amner, Neil Gow in the planning policy team for their hard work on this, and also Caroline Adlem for her work on the communications. At this stage, I would commend the report to Council and would move the recommendations. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. And do we have someone to second? Councillor Blackwell, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm only pleased to second the recommendation, and listening to Councillor Gibson, he thanked everybody for everybody who had actually been involved in getting us to this stage, which is a very important stage of this plan, the consultation process. But I can't sit here without giving the vote of thanks to Councillor Warren Gibson. He's the one that's pushed this above anybody else, and he's worked tirelessly. I know he has. He's always upstairs. But no, he has. And joking apart, he's got us to where we are. And so, you know, I'd like to thank him for all his hard work. And it's also down to all of us now to actually make sure we get the message out to all our residents that it's so important that they respond to this communication and this to give their views on, because this is their future. And you know, so everybody here must go out there, talk to their residents and get them to respond to this consultation. So thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you everybody, especially Warren. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Blackwell. And yeah, I would like to echo what you've just said and thank Councillor Gibson and all of the board for the tremendous amount of work they've done bringing forward this very comprehensive consultation, the likes I don't think we've ever seen before in this borough. And I encourage all of the members here to spread the word, tell your friends, neighbours, everybody, get them to tell all their friends and neighbours and try and get as much engagement, because a lot of work has gone into this, and this is really such a hugely collaborative piece of the work that's going to form this plan, and it's such a wonderful opportunity for us all to be involved. So thanks to everybody that's been involved. Can I open up for any questions or comments from members? Yes, Councillor Bowker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to address a question to Councillor Gibson. How was the Castle Point Plan Board involved in developing the issues and options document?
Councillor Gibson.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Bowker. We've been involved right from the start quite heavily. We have met around twice monthly since December 22 and have had input into everything from the questions we posed during the issuance engagements last year to the specifications used to commission evidence-based work. We have received feedback and briefings from specialist consultants and reviewed the results of engagements activities. We have spent considerable time working with officers over the last few months on this issues and options document to ensure we are engaging with residents on all the important issues that the plan needs to address. The board has been fully involved in the work on the plan to date, and it will continue moving forward.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Savage.
It's not a question, Madam Mayor, it's more a statement of fact, really. I think as a resident, as well as a councillor of Castle Point for over 25 years, and lived through the 4 failed plans, being a member of the Plan Board, I can say without doubt that this is an outstanding piece of work and a piece of collaboration that our former administration failed with abysmally. If and when you see the documentation and the piece of work that's going out, you will agree it is first class. And I'd like to again thank the officers for that piece of work. It is truly outstanding. You know, this is an administration that, when the Conservatives were actually in the chamber, we were working collaboratively with. They'd never done that previously. So I think we, as a group, can pat ourselves on the back, and that's officers as well. So I'd just like to make that statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, Councillor Copsey.
Yes, I'd just like to put a question, but I'd like to make a comment as well. Before becoming a councillor, I spent a good few years fighting against a poor local plan, a very, very poor local plan that would have ruined our borough. And I'm not against plans at all. Every borough must have a plan. And it's important to have the right one that serves the needs of the people. And that's where I'm very excited and impressed about the quality and the depth that's gone into creating this consultation. This isn't just a tick box exercise. This is to genuinely get the heartbeat of our residents. I've just a practical question though to put, if I may. Obviously timing and so forth, we're now hitting the summer months, and has there been any thought regarding what impact that might have on the consultation? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Gibson.
Thank you, Councillor Copsey. The simple answer is it was due to the general election. I mean, don't shoot me down, I can't remember the exact date, but I believe this meeting was supposed to have been on the 14th of June, So we are behind, but what we have done, and the officers have suggested it, it was great work, that we've actually extended it. Could have been 6 weeks, we extended it to 8 weeks to try to make sure that everybody can get involved and they can participate. And we've also added some additional online engagement sessions in September, so we can capture anybody that is unavailable in August.
Thank you. Councillor Huntman, I was getting there.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm easily forgettable, but I just want to concur with everyone else, and thanks to Councillor Gibson, and thank to all the officers. I've just got one question, which may have been covered, but I may have missed it. With the recent change in central government, is that likely to have any bearing on how we formulate this local plan?
Councillor Gibson.
Short answer is no. No, I mean, there's been no new legislations, there's been plenty of talk of it. We've heard the new MPs, we've heard Angela Rayner and other people saying different bits and pieces, but no, at the moment it will stay as business as usual and we will proceed as we are.
Councillor Knott.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a quick question. The report mentions email notification to specific consultation bodies and general consultation bodies. Can I just asking, can I just check, does that include charities? I know the report mentions community groups, businesses, but would charities within the borough be specifically contacted as well by email? Thank you.
Would you like me to pass that to Ms Parrott?
Yeah, if you could please, Madam Mayor. Yeah, Amanda would be better to answer that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the statutory consultation bodies are set out in legislation and include the likes of Natural England, the Environment Agency and so forth. General consultation bodies are anyone that we choose to notify, and we do have quite a substantial list of organisations who work across the borough already on that list. But if there's anyone that you think we should be contacting specifically, by all means send me an email and we can certainly arrange for that to be the case. Or indeed you can just tell them that they can participate, because it's not closed to people who are notified, it's open to absolutely everybody in the borough or who has an interest in the borough.
Thank you, Ms Parrott. Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's worth mentioning that unlike any of the previous plans, our officers have spent a lot of time going into all the schools to speak with the younger generation. This is something that was never done before. Being a member of the Plan Board since day one, it's something that we really wanted to make sure that we did to capture the younger people as well as those who generally always answer these consultations. So we've done a piece of work there as well. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are we all done? Okay, so Council, the recommendations are the 6 recommendations set out at paragraph 3.1 of the report. Are you all happy for us to vote these en bloc? Okay, so if I can have a show of hands for those in favour of the recommendations. That is a unanimous, so thank you, that is agreed, and we will move on to the next item of business, agenda item 5. We have the South Benfleet Conservation Area Appraisal and Management Plan Consultation. Members, the Council is asked to authorise officers to undertake consultation on the draft South Benfleet Conservation Area Appraisal and Management Plan and associated draft design code. Ms Parrott, if I could again ask you to please present the report on behalf of the Chief Executive. Thank you.
Thank you. This second report is regarding the South Benfleet Conservation Area, which is an area of older buildings around Benfleet Station, and you have a map of this provided in your report. In scoping the work for the Castle Point Plan back in November 2022, we realised that the South Benfleet Conservation Area Appraisal and Management Plan was last reviewed in 2005. Since 2005, several developments have taken place in the conservation area, and it was therefore determined at that time that this piece of work needed to be updated to inform the Castle Point Plan. However, it is also a requirement of the Planning, Listed Buildings and Conservation Areas Act that we periodically review conservation areas and put in place plans for their management and enhancement. This piece of work therefore also meets that legal duty, so it's a sort of twofold piece of work. The work on this to date has been undertaken on our behalf by historic environment specialists at Essex County Council. It identifies the appropriate extent of the conservation area, and there's a proposed change to that to take out some areas of land which don't have historic or heritage features on them. And it also proposes measures that should be taken to protect and enhance the conservation area, including a design code which ensures that any new development, extensions or alterations to buildings contribute towards the character of the area. It is a requirement of legislation that we now consult on these proposals before an updated conservation area management plan is approved by the Council. It is proposed that we undertake this consultation alongside the engagement on the Castle Point Plan Issues and Options document to make the best use of resources, as we're already out and about engaging. I would commend the recommendations of the report to Council for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Parrott. Councillor Warren Gibson, as Deputy Leader and Portfolio Holder for Strategic Planning, would you please put your recommendation to council?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I think Amanda summed that report up very well, so I haven't really got much to add, and I'll happily move the recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Blackwell as leader, are you seconding?
Second the recommendation.
Thank you very much. Members, would anyone like to ask questions or make comments on the recommendations? Okay, so members, the recommendations are the two recommendations set out at paragraph 3.1 of the report. Are you happy for vote for both of these recommendations together this evening? Okay, so if I can have a show of hands for those in favour of the recommendations. That is unanimous and that is agreed. Thank you very much, Council. There is no other business for this evening. I therefore declare the meeting closed and bid you a good night. Thank you.